Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. The market is still trading besides it being the month of May. Like I said last week, called the month of May. There's a statement, investment strategy called sell in May and go away. But we're not really going away because of most of the countries were been in lockdown in May, so nobody's going away. So the market is still trading, and as I said last week, that statement really applies to the stocks and not necessarily the currency trading. All right, so before we get started, there's 5 things that I'm going to mention before you move on to your favorite pairs. Talking about your favorite pairs, this is how you can go directly to your favorite pairs without having to watch the whole video. If you go to the description of all my videos on YouTube, you will find the contact details and you will find the timestamps. So with the timestamps, you can actually go to the direct pairs that you're interested in, and you don't have to watch the whole webinar. Okay, so just 1 second here. Okay, so that's where you will find your timestamps. But before you move on to the timestamps, there's just 5 things that I want to mention before you move on. That is important information. So the next course, as you can see listed here under the description, is going to be on the 8th of June. It's a 10-day course. This is a live course. You'll find the recorded course on the website. So that means if you're getting the course on the website, you get a pre-recorded course that you can actually watch before the live session starts. It's a 10-day course. So after you've watched the course, so then you can get to watch the live one from the 8th to the 18th of June. It helps you to actually have an opinion when the live course starts, because that's the idea with the live courses, so that we can interact. We spend 10 days together talking about the charts. Any questions that you may have had with the course, that is the reason why we also have a live course, unlike just having a recorded course. So there's a 10% discount on the full course. Make an inquiry on that. When you make a purchase, you'll get a 10% refund when you purchase the full course. Like I said last week as well, South Africans, please also make an inquiry for the special price for South Africans. We understand that the US dollar ZAR rate is extremely high at this point, and the cost is almost 50% more than what it was a year ago. So if you're in South Africa, you want to purchase a course, just make an inquiry first so we can give you a price for South Africans. There are 2 plans, subscription plans on the website as well. This premium plan 1 and 2, you can look at the details of what premium 1 and 2 entails. So if you purchase premium plan 2, you will get our special indicator, our special proprietary indicator. Now, this is an amazing indicator. This is the reason why most of you are watching this webinar, because of the accuracy. And the accuracy, it's not just the Elliott wave theory. It's not just these numbers and the structures that I'm drawing up here. The accuracy comes from this powerful indicator. So when we purchase premium plan 2, you'll get that special indicator plus 4 months access into our members area. Okay, so that is what we've got. So even if you are not in, if you're still interested in the full course, but you just want to see how that goes with the premium plan 2, you can always upgrade at a later stage. Okay, so please don't forget to like and subscribe onto the website on our videos, so that next time we post, you get a notification. Right, so let's get started right into the analysis today. I'm not going to waste time. The theme for this week is why I stopped trading trend lines, and I'm going to be explaining that as we doing market analysis. But first, before we get that, before you move on to your favorite pairs, let's do market recap. Trade recaps, that is the trades that we've been looking at in the last week or 2. Right, so all of you that are watching these videos and have been watching for the last couple of weeks, you know that we've got a silver trade running. I've also posted a video on YouTube. You can check it out to see how we forecasted silver in our daily webinars. Right, so this was, say, a silver before the trigger, and silver has now moved over 250 points. It's about at 1785 now. As I said last time, I've posted this to everyone who has subscribed to our website. If you go to our website, you can subscribe so you can get notifications and emails whenever there's some trades like this. I have posted this one up here, but it was at the time when this had already started to move. But I said, wait for the pullback. So this is the pullback. Now, you may not know when the real breakout is, and that is the power of the indicator that tells us that this is ready and it goes. So if you look at this never spent any time in the red area. That's because it is ready. All the triggers have checked, and that is why this has now moved over 250 points and silver is on its way. That is how we looked at silver. So if you had subscribed to the website, you would have got at least the pullback here and the move that is currently happening here on silver. Okay, so that is what we are looking at right now. Okay, so that is silver. Let's go to the next one. The next one is Brent crude oil. This was one of those textbook trades. Breakout here, confirmed by all the indicators, as well as the structure, the wave, the sequence as well. That is how Brent crude has played out. And you can see that these moves, whenever we take them, mostly don't even spend any minute in the stop loss. Yes, we do put in a stop loss, entry areas and exit areas, but as you can see, there's nothing wrong if it does move like this, but most of the trades, because they have confirmed and we've got a pinpointed strategy that tells us you're taking the trade here, that is why you don't really, I call them painless trades, really. Right, so this is a Brent crude oil. Now, Brent crude oil, and this is AUDNZD. I've been showing you AUDNZD for the last 3 weeks. This has moved over 700 pips from the forecast that we did when we were still here, forecasting it to come to parity. It comes to parity and bounces, but our trade was actually here. This is where we actually took the trade and has now moved over 750 pips from parity, but the trade is on now at over 700 pips. That is AUDNZD. That is how AUDNZD has played out, and you can see now all those waves that have been forecasted have now played out. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and including the higher degree, have now all played out for that 750 pips. We are now making this pullback. We also had a trade set up to sell this one here just for this move here, but it has now made a move to the upside here. I'll show you this when we start with the market analysis. That is AUDNZD, an amazing trade. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, this is the recent trade for this week, but if you have been watching, we also had a setup for Bitcoin to drop, and we wanted Bitcoin to get to this level. Didn't get to this level, but when you noticed the indicators changed direction here, this is where we got an entry for Bitcoin at 9261. Where is Bitcoin now? Bitcoin is currently at around 959600. So we've already moved almost 300-400 points on Bitcoin with that trade setup, and this is how Bitcoin has played out so far. This is where we are currently. We're lingering around here. We're still going to do market analysis to focus where the next direction is. Now, this is Bitcoin in March, what we focused in March. So we were focused that Bitcoin was going to make a pullback here, and we were going to get to 9,600, 10,000. I've been calling for 600 or for 10,000 all along. And as you can see, the structure that we were looking for was this red degree WXY, and that degree, you see that it has played out exactly as forecasted, and this is the red degree WXY. So that sequence has completed up to that level. Now we've got this move. Where are we going from here? That is what we're going to look at when we start with the market analysis. Now, this is where we were. On the chart, we focused that we're going to get a move down here. That is the move, and then you get a move to, as you can see here, has reached 10,000. Our focus was 9,600. That is Bitcoin. All right, next one is New Zealand Chief. New Zealand Chief, as you can see also, we focused that this was going to make a move from here and go all the way to the upside. Now look at how this one has played out amazingly. This is how it has now moved over from 57 to 59. This is 250 pips. There was another entry last week on New Zealand Chief. As you can see here, this is the stop. It just makes a corrective structure and goes. This is how New Zealand Chief went. this is where we are currently. There was that new trade here. It makes a move here and pushes higher. Okay, so that is how that one has played out. We're still looking for it to make one more to the upside here, New Zealand Chief. So we're still going to do that with a market update. We're still going to update that. Now, NIFTY, we spoke about NIFTY and the indices last week and how they're showing indications of upside. So NIFTY, for our Indian traders, we got this trade here, inch perfect here. We saw the move here, and then we were looking for it to go to the upside. Has not gone really that far, actually. It is only up to around that area. So the NIFTY trade is going very well so far. And we have been looking at that. This is how NIFTY is currently playing out. So this may not necessarily go in a straight line. I will explain that when we start. All right, so that is a NIFTY, and this one is what we were looking at in the week with gold, looking for gold to make a break here and continue with the move that we forecasted a couple of weeks back. We have now made a break, but it does not look like it's just going to go in a straight line. It looks like we should have a bit of a pullback before we make a move to the upside, but we should be able to catch that move on gold. Right, so that is how gold has played out. We've now broken out here, but that break is not convincing. It has broken up in 3 waves, so that's why we need to see sort of a pullback on that. Now, what was amazing last week was how accurate and how easy the indices were. Now, the S&P 500, if you remember, this was the 9th of May, the first week of May, or just the second week, start of the second week of May. We were looking for the indices to make a move back and make a move to the upside. Now, you'll see how accurate this is on all the indices. Look what happened with S&P 500. It makes a move back, it makes a move to the upside. Now, last week, what did we say? We said the indices are going to break higher, all of them. We're looking for a break to the upside. That's why you also saw the trade on NIFTY. So we're looking for the new indices to break higher. And this is exactly how that has played out in the week. We have broken out of that structure. I'm still expecting the indices to break higher than where we are currently, and I'll show you why. Okay, so that is the S&P 500. This was the DAX. The DAX is similar to the UK 100. Look at how accurate this is. We focus that we're going to make a move. How do we know that it's going to make a move to the downside and it's going to make a move like that? We don't just focus to one move. As you can see, this one makes a move down. We make a move to the upside. Last week, if you go to the timestamp on DAX and UK 100, you'll see that we were looking for this to break out of this structure. These are trade setups, okay? Trade setups for the index traders. So this was the DAX, and that is how DAX has played out eventually. This was last week we were here, we broke out. So week before, we said it's going to break a break, it's going to make a move to the upside. Last week, up here, we get it here. So that is how accurate this is. The indicator will tell you when it's ready. How many times have you got what some terms a false breakout? There is no such a breakout, such thing as a false breakout. A breakout is a breakout. If it is not go, it means it was not a breakout. Doesn't mean it was false. It was just not a breakout. All right, so this is now the Dow Jones, the same as the S&P 500. As you can see, not a move up here, exactly as forecasted. It makes a move down and makes a move to the upside. Understanding that we're only around this level here, we still want to continue higher. This is the Dow, and this is how the Dow has played out. Last week we were here and we wanted this to make a move to the upside. So all these moves, 1, 2, 3, those were forecasted accurately with the strategy. And these are the charts that you find listed on our website. All right, now this is the UK 100. UK 100, just like the DAX, we've also forecasted it from here. So you just don't see that chart here, and we're looking for this one to make a move to the upside. We are around here on the UK 100. We're still expecting continuation to the upside, but it's pulling back currently, but we will look at that. Right, so last week we had a what I called the trade of the week on pound CAD. I said this was an almost guarantee that this was going to make a move to the downside. Okay, so the pound CAD drops 170 pips and reverses all the gains. Okay, so I still say this is gonna be the trade of the week. So there is a way to trade this where you get this one and you run this trade risk-free. This has now make a move here and taken us out from entry level based on our strategy, and this is what we're expecting. We're still expecting pound CAD to be the trade of the week. In fact, it is now set up even better than what we had last week. This is the move that we wanted. So this is now going to be an even better trade for upside. Look out for some amazing trades this week. I think if you are a currency trader, watch as much as possible of the pairs, because there are some amazing trades, some almost guaranteed, 95% chance of them playing out through with the trade setups that we've got coming this week. We'll be trading those live in our live sessions. Euro New Zealand, we did not just focus Euro New Zealand from here, we focused it from here. If you look at the previous videos, now Euro New Zealand has now dropped and made a pullback from this level. We are here. I will update where we think Euro New Zealand is going in when we start right now. Okay, so that is how we looked at the market in the last week. It's been amazing. Yes, we do get some trades wrong, so don't be fooled. There are trades that we don't get right, as you will see when we do the market analysis. The nice thing about this is I show you what I'm looking at before it plays out, and I tell you why I'm looking for it to play out like that. And if it doesn't, then you can actually see it yourself. Okay, so what I'm showing you is the right hand side of the chart. Now, talking about trend lines and why I don't trade trend lines, this is the reason why. Okay, this is the reason why I don't trade trend lines. I'll show you just now. If you look at this, just to give you an idea of how powerful the indicator that we use is, and without giving anything away, because that is for our members, look at pound yen. Look at this. You've got a move coming down here, right? You've got a move coming down here. Before we talk about that, you've got a trend line here, right? That trend line gets broken here. If you trade trend lines, you expect to sell here because the trend line has been broken. But what happens? That the move continues to the upside. But what do us as Elliott Wavers see? And not all Elliott Wavers, because most Elliott Wavers are just looking at the structures and counting the waves. And that is not what's going to make you profitable. You can count this and make mistakes. Remember, these price charts are generated by a computer. What you're putting in here, you're putting in the numbers manually. How can you predict something that was generated by a computer by putting in numbers here? For all we know, somebody could have said, the one that I've got, this one in purple here, somebody could have put it in here, and they will still be right, because that will be 1, 2. And the other one could have put in here the lower degree 1, 2. That is why most people say the Elliott wave theory is objective, and it is not when you've got a clear set of rules. It's to give you an example of how we look at this. So you may have this whatever sequence and the structure that you have, but look at what the RSI was telling you. This makes a move to the downside, but the RSI has started this upside move here. Okay, so the upside on the RSI started here already. This has been making a move to the downside from March of this year. It's been coming down, but the RSI was already on an uptrend by that time. Okay, so we see that now. Look at how this one ends now. The trend to the upside on price, when does it start? It starts about 30 days later at the end of the month, almost 6 weeks later. Then you get the trend to the upside. But before we even get to that, look at when this trend to the upside ends here. With the indicator, the trend had already started making a move to the downside. When? Right when we were still here. Okay, so the indicator, this is a leading indicator. An indicator is a measure of input and output. Okay, so for example, just to give you an example of what an indicator is, what they mean by leading indicators. Those are critical indicators that show the overall health. For example, if we're talking about a company. Now, in this case, for example, I'm an engineer. I've worked in the mining industry for 15 years. I've got a degree in mechanical and electrical engineering. So I worked with these things for over 15 years. So when you talk about a leading indicator, for example, we'll talk about in a company, let's talk about a general company that is a sales company. One of your leading indicators will be a number of customer complaints, and that is what determines the health of your company or the health of your sales or how well your company is doing. Right, so coming back to our indicator here, that is the RSI. I'm only looking at the RSI. The move to the upside has happened here, but this upside move started in March. Okay, the move to the upside started in March. This downtrend that you see that started towards the end of April started already way before. That's how we look at the cycles on the indicator without really giving much away. I just wanted you to see that you could be counting all those waves the way you want, but you can't see what is going on. The supply and demand, the input and the output of the currencies behind the scenes, you don't see that. You can only read with the indicator. So your structures, your labelings, your support and resistance levels, they don't really mean anything without the indicator. Okay, so with the forecasting tool that we have, which is the Elliott Wave theory, we are able to pinpoint exactly where we expect the market to go with a high degree of accuracy. I'm not going to sell you dreams and tell you we can focus the market 100%. That is why we get some trades wrong, and that is why we use stop loss in our trades as well. Okay, right, so let's get started with the market analysis. I've got so much to look for. We've got so much to look forward to in the coming week. Let's start with the indices, and there is a reason why I want us to look at the indices. We've already looked at the recap on the indices, so the indices are quite simple for the coming week. We're just looking for continuation to the upside on all the indices, just like last week. Last week we said we want this to continue to the upside. We're looking for this to continue higher. Okay, so that is what we're still expecting. We're still looking for it to continue higher, but we wait for confirmation. If you did not take this trade here, if you do not take it here, you shouldn't be taking it here because that is not safe to take it there. That is the S&P 500. Now, there's a reason why we're expecting the indices to continue making a move to the upside even in the coming sessions. I'm going to show you now. Let's first run through all of them, and I'm going to show you why we expect the indices to keep continuing higher in the coming sessions. Okay, so for those that want specific pairs, you can now go on to your specific pairs as per the timestamps. The Dow, simple, really simple analysis here. You don't do anything. All you just have to wait for is pullbacks and keep buying to the upside. The structure that we're looking for is simply ABC. All right, so that is what we're looking for, continuation to the upside on the Dow. The Dow Transportation as well is confirming the Dow Industrial. This is where we were. They're all making higher highs, so they're confirming each other. I have spoken about the Dow theory in one of my webinars. You can go and refer to that so you can understand the difference between relative strength index and relative strength. That is how I look at the Dow Jones Transportation and the Dow Jones Industrial average. These two averages have to confirm each other, and currently they're both making higher highs. There is no divergence between the two averages. Right, the NASDAQ, nothing is as clear as the NASDAQ. We're still looking at continuation to the upside. The NASDAQ should continue higher, and that is the structure that we're looking for. We're looking for a simple. Now, this one is actually not simple as far as the structure is concerned, because you could be looking at the last wave 5 year, 1, 2, 3, and this one starts making a fifth wave here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. We've got a pullback. We could be starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here as well. So that's why we're still looking for continuation to the upside with this one making a pullback here. So still continuation to the upside. Right, so that is the NASDAQ and the UK 100. I've already shown you the UK 100, how we looked at this one to drop here and continue higher. How far will this go? Now, do not be fooled by this. How many times have we seen this on a Sunday where it looks like the trend has reversed? Now, you think that the trend has reversed, and then the market opens and continues to the direction that you would have forecasted anyway. Right, so if it is going to reverse, then we will possibly be making this structure, but that is not the structure that I'm looking at. I'm still looking for UK 100, for the UK 100 to also continue higher. Okay, so for the UK 100 to continue higher as well. The DAX, continuation to the upside as well. This is where we focus on the DAX to drop. It drops down here and makes a move to the upside, and we're looking for this to continue higher like that. Okay, so that is the DAX, looking for continuation to the upside. Nikkei, we changed our view here. We're initially looking for this to make a three-wave structure, but when this kept correcting here and the indicators kept showing upside, that's when we changed the view that this will actually make a 1-2, and we are actually going for a wave 3 here. We were here last week, and this is how this one is pushing up to the upside for that wave 3. We should still see continuation to the upside even in the week ahead as well. The Nifty, we have just started our move to the upside on the Nifty. Do not get too excited as yet. If you're in the trade and you've got a good entry, good. All right, so we've made a three-wave pullback, simple three-wave pullback. We've broken out of here. There's a possibility this comes back here, corrects, and then continues to the upside. Even come to this level, make a move here, makes a move to the upside, and make a corrective structure. But that is forecasting way too far ahead. And when you do that, the accuracy becomes obviously a lot lower than the next immediate move. So the next immediate move is easy. We're still looking for this one. It's coming up in 5 waves, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it does get the 5th wave here, we will see a pullback here, and we'll see continuation to the upside. So Nifty still looking for upside, okay? So, but we will see a pullback. Now for my Indian traders, fellow Indian traders, I have given you a very, very good trade last week on Sun Pharma. If you've been watching last week, I told you that Sun Pharma is going to give you a move to the upside. I'm still not quite convinced how far it's going to go. We need to get it to break here for us to confirm the all clear for it to make a move all the way up. Because right now we have broken, but we've broken in 3 waves. Is this going to make the 3rd wave here and then we continue higher? We still need to see that. But if you have taken the trade, you should just be holding on to your trade on this one. This was an amazing free setup on Sun Pharma. This is a stock on the NSE, Indian Stock Exchange. All right. Now, looking at that, now why are the indices or the S&P 500 pushing higher? That's what I said I was going to explain. Now, if you look at the composition or the weighting of the S&P 500, 25% of the weighting of the S&P 500 is tech stocks, stocks like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, and those are mega capped stocks. Okay, so mega cap stocks are stocks with market cap of over 300 billion and above. Now let's look at those stocks, and that will give us an idea of why we're still looking at the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ to keep continuing higher. Right, so if you look at the S&P 500, the S&P 500 is at almost at the highs that we've seen before the drop that is attributed to the COVID-19 pandemic. So that means all those losses have been regained by April. Okay, so now look at this. This is making a move in 5 waves, and we're still looking for this to continue higher. Even if this pulls back here and comes down here, I will expect this one to break to all-time highs. April to break to all-time highs here. That is why the S&P 500 remains supported. Amazon, look at Amazon. Amazon is actually at all-time highs. Let's look at this at the daily. It's at all-time highs, has broken as now. Let's have a look here. So we have made this structure on the Amazon. This is a running flat on the daily. We have made a very strong impulse, and this is still supported for upside. This will pull the S&P 500. Remember, this weighting on the S&P 500 is tech stocks. Okay, there's health stocks, there's communication stocks. I think health stocks are 15%, communication about 10%, but the tech stocks like these are what's pulling the S&P 500 to the upside, and they remain supported for upside. All-time highs. Look at Facebook. Okay, Facebook, all-time highs. Facebook has actually, has made gains of 10% in the last year, but it's now at all-time highs. They all dropped with the rest of the stocks in March, but now they are at new all-time highs. Okay, so that is Facebook. Look at Google. Alphabet. Alphabet has actually surged 50% in the last year alone. 50% growth in the last year alone. Look what's happening here. A expanding flat just before, we just almost at all-time highs. They remain supported. We're still looking for more upside. Right, another one, Microsoft, tech stock. These are the mega stocks in the top 10. Microsoft looking for all-time highs. So what do you think is going to happen to the S&P 500 if this is happening, if these are supported to the upside? These are the tech stocks supporting all-time highs here. JP Morgan is not it's a bank, it's not a tech stock, but it's in the S&P 500. These are one of the stocks that I've been pulling the S&P 500 down. They are underperforming, as you can see. Now, the interesting thing about the structure on JP Morgan is that every sector in the world globally have got the same structure. What do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. If you look at JP Morgan, it's a bank. A simple local bank in South Africa is called Standard Bank. Look at the structure. It's exactly the same as one of the biggest banks in the world, JP Morgan. It's exactly the same structure. So patterns repeat themselves in similar sectors. So when you're trading, you don't only look at one side, you look at intermarket and how the market is performing. I hope that helps you with your trading going forward as well. So those are the indices. Let's look now at the cryptocurrencies. Looking at the cryptocurrencies, let's look at Bitcoin. Let's start with Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, if you go to our site, so all these pairs and all those trade setups that I've shown you, those are all the charts that we've got listed on our website. Subscribe to the website to get any information that we'll post from time to time. We'll send an email if you subscribe right onto the website. Now, let's look at the cryptocurrencies. Now, looking at the cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, this is the setup that we had here for upside. This is now on the 1 hour. What you saw earlier was on the 4 hour. So we're now looking, Bitcoin has now moved to about 4,960. We're currently lingering around this level. We're looking for it to continue higher. It looks like we will continue higher on Bitcoin. Let's look at the rest. Now, this is a Bitcoin on the 1 hour. Ethereum, as you can see, we've made a move to the upside. Ethereum has made a move to around 237. Let's go to the live Ethereum chart as forecasted there. So this was let's go to the 1 hour. So Ethereum, let's have a look at Ethereum and where we looked at this. Now, Ethereum, we saw it breaking out of this during our daily webinar. But Bitcoin was showing indications of upside, so we went convinced that this was going to make a move to the upside. Only when this started making a move here, the indicator confirms that Ethereum needs to make a move to the upside. Now, interesting thing about Ethereum is that it has already broken the previous highs here, so we're looking for this to continue higher. So this was our setup here on Ethereum. Looking for it to continue to the upside. I was looking for it to break to the upside here, to break here. As you can see, it comes here, does not reverse. So it is currently here at new highs. So we'll only look for a pullback and continuation to the upside to complete this move. That is Ethereum. All right. Now, Litecoin. Let's look at Litecoin as well. Litecoin on the 1 hour, as you can see, that was the forecast that Litecoin is going to make a move to the previous highs, the same way we were looking at Ethereum. How did Litecoin play out? Let's have a look here. This is now Litecoin at the previous high. This is the previous high that we're looking at. It has not gotten, it hasn't got there yet. That is the previous high that we're looking for. We're looking for it to continue to make a move to the upside. We've already moved about $6 on Ethereum since the entry here at this level. We're looking for it to continue higher. Market does not move in a straight line. That's why you see this pull. There's always going to be pullbacks, but we welcome pullbacks because these are opportunities for us to hop onto the trade at a cheaper price. Right, so that is Ethereum. And lastly on the cryptos was Ripple. As you can see, we also trade the cryptocurrencies. The cryptocurrencies are all going to be included from July in our course. So you can look forward for the cryptocurrencies in our course in July as well. Right, so for now, we show you analysis, how to analyze the cryptocurrencies using the Elliott Wave theory supported by our indicator, but you can actually get the course as well from the 1st of July, how to look at the crypto. What is cryptocurrencies? Where does it come from? This blockchain technology, mining cryptos and all those things, that's what you're gonna get as well. Right, so this is Ripple. It's made a move up here. Has not really got there yet. Let's have a look. Ripple. We're making this move here. We're looking at this structure. So this should make a move to the upside, which may not go all the way to the upside in one straight line. Let's just make this one so we can see clearly the structure here. It's clear. Let's close here. This is what we see on Ripple. We're simply looking for this structure first. So Ripple may simply first make this structure. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so we actually had a setup on Ripple here where we sold this, expecting it to get here, but it did not get to this level, has now instead made this structure. All right, so those are the cryptocurrencies. So you can trade any market with this strategy. It does not matter which pair you're looking at. For example, if you're looking at Zcash is the same structure. If you look at this here as the rest of the cryptocurrency, Zcash has also broken the all-time highs here. Now we're making a move to the upside. We can see the structure has made 3 waves. We'll expect a pullback before continuation to the upside. It's all simple. You can bring any instrument. It can be traded using the Elliott Wave theory. Okay, so for the rest, there's also Omisego here on the cryptos. It's making a pullback. And that is Omisego versus the dollar. This is going to make a move like this here. We'll see a pullback here. We'll look for upside. And this is a corrective structure. So still continuation to the upside. We're just making a pullback here. Just to run quickly through the rest here. Looking at this one here as well. This is Tron. Okay, Tron, we actually looked at this one before it broke. Can you see the clear 3 waves? This is a very small crypto here, but you can see the structure is still 3 waves up, 3 waves back, and we're looking for this one to make another 3 waves up. I'm not going to go through the rest of them. I know last week I said I was going to do a crypto corner webinar during the week. I didn't find time, so we'll try again this week. If I do find time, I will post out the notification on the social platforms. Right, so let's go into the major pairs. Let's look at the US dollar pairs. The dollar index has been making a move to the upside. Let's look at the 4-hour. I'm going to be on the 4-hour most of the webinar here. The dollar index, we've seen some small pullback here with the structure. What we're going to be expecting here is a move to the upside here. Okay, has this move completed? We can't really see, but we should see at least, even if it's a pullback, we should see at least a deeper pullback before continuation to the upside. But we're overall looking for this move here. The blue lines on the dollar index will be updating this one here. It's not clear at the moment where we're looking at. We have made a move to the downside. We've made this pullback here. We're looking for this one to come down here. The overall structure that we're looking for here on this is this one. So what are we looking at here? It's a move to the upside here. Let's switch off so we can just look at the structure only. Let's switch off here. So if you just look at the structure only, this is the structure here, and we're looking for this one to be a move to the upside here in green. Let's use green here. And we see this one as a 3-wave pullback here. That is what we're looking at here. Now the question is this, has this completed, or we still need to see the green here? So the green, we're still expecting the green here to make a pullback here before we get this white one here, which is this white here, to make a move to the downside. The white is an A, it's a B, it's a C. That remains to be confirmed whether we're going to get this move to the upside. If we do get this move to the upside, that will be a perfect move that we're looking at, because it confirms the structure. All we need here is for the indicator to confirm. So if you, for completeness, to label this here, you'll have this one is a W, it's a X here, it's a Y. It means here we should expect 3 waves there. And in here with the red degree, that will be a lower degree, A, B, C here. This is actually a C. This is a C wave here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna need to change here, make this one an ABC structure so we can just complete this one. So this is an ABC structure here. Elliott Wavers will understand why I'm looking at it the way I am. This ABC structure there. Okay. I won't complete all labeling, because otherwise we're going to spend 2-3 hours here in this webinar, and I want to try and keep it under an hour. So that's the structure that we're looking at. We're going to see a pullback here on the dollar index. Let's see. Euro US dollar, we're also expecting that it makes a pullback at current levels. Okay, we have made a slight move here from the last week. We were actually here. This was the week before. We're looking for it to complete this structure. This is the structure that we looked at on Euro US dollar. We're looking for it to complete this structure here like this. 1, 2, 3, and make a move to the downside, which was this one. But that structure has changed slightly, and we are now looking at this as 1, 2, and a 3. That's why we're now looking for this to make a move down here. 1, 2, and a 3. Okay, so but this will need to be confirmed. So we will need to see whether we get a pullback here. Is it going to be a pullback, or is it going to be an impulsive move to the downside? So no confirmation as to the move that we're looking at here on Euro US dollar. Pound US dollar. A pound US dollar was a trade setup that we looked at when we were still here. Last week, we saw that this move was only in 3 waves and had made a move down here. As you can see here, this is still continuing to the upside. So this corrective structure is still in play. So pound US dollar, we're still playing out this correction. But for the next week, we will expect pound to make a move to the upside. This is a messy structure. As much as we can see the direction, this is not something that we want to trade. We want to trade impulsive moves like this, impulsive moves like this. This is corrective. That's not what we're interested in. We're interested in this when the corrective structure is complete. Right, US dollar chief, we're expecting a bounce at current levels, at least a bounce back to this level. Let's show what structure we're looking at here. So we've been looking for this one to continue higher from when we were still here. 1, 2, 3, we're looking for it to break out here, but it makes a double corrective structure here, as you can see, and now has made another 3-wave structure. What you see here is now a double corrective structure. That is 1, 2, 3 down, W, 1, 2, 3 up, X, 1, 2, 3, Y. Okay, so this structure here can even retest this level and make a move to the upside. There's a number of confluences here that we're seeing, so we should see this one make a pullback to retest the top here, but there's no confirmation here. We just need to wait to see which structure we're going to get here, but very likely to get a move to the upside. But this one still looks like it wants to get at least to this level. Okay, so no new trades on those. US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD, we actually have a trade on US dollar CAD on the 1 hour. Let's have a look here. Not one of the safest trades, but we have looked at that trade on the 1 hour. And let me just check here under trade setups how we looked at US dollar CAD. Let's have a look at US dollar CAD. Trade setup on US dollar CAD. I want to show you practically how we look at the trades. Remember, on during the market trade recaps, I showed you most of the trades that have played out. I need to show you these ones here as well. Once that do not play out, we do have those as well. So this is US dollar CAD. Not that it hasn't played out, it is still in play. This is where we took US dollar CAD. It makes a move to the upside, but has now made a nice corrective structure, good, nice sideways structure. Now that is even better than what we had here, because this now, in terms of degree, is relative to what we have here. So we'll still be looking for US dollar CAD to continue lower in the next coming sessions. So one of the trades that we'll be looking at, not big trades, not big moves though, but this is a clear 1, 2, 3 wave structure. We're looking for downside. When do you catch this trade? You need to use your own strategy. We use our strategy together with the indicator to confirm when this is ready, because for all we know, this can come here, make a bounce before making a move to the downside. And some will call this a false breakout, and there is no such, it's just the structure that it's forming. So look out for this. Look out for this in the next coming sessions on US dollar CAD. Pound CAD is also one to look at. We already looked at that during the market recap. Okay, Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar, let's go again to the website. So we can go to the US dollar pairs. Looking at the US dollar pairs on Audi US dollar, on the 1 hour, we expected a pullback and a move to the upside. Now this upside is coming up pretty correctively. Let's have a look if we're gonna get to that level. We have made a pullback as expected here. This is the pullback that is forecasted. Now we're making this move in 3 waves. So this can actually make another 3-wave move here. Or we can go up here in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete the C wave. And it can actually be a diagonal. But eventually this should come down. At this point, there is no trade. We need to wait for this one here to keep continuing higher. Very likely we make a move down here. Tag here, we come down before we make a move to the upside. New Zealand is similar as well. New Zealand is actually looking upside. Let me go to the 4 hour. New Zealand is still very much supported to the upside. This is the pullback that you see on the side. The pullback on New Zealand US dollar is this one here. You get this pullback, expected a deeper pullback, it does not make a deeper pullback, it just makes one single 3-wave structure, and this is now making this move to the upside. Now it means your B is here in purple. Okay, so that is New Zealand, got this one breaking out of this structure here, making a new one here. So we're looking for this one to push higher in the coming weeks. So New Zealand, very likely to continue higher. US dollar ZAR, as much as we want it to be positive from a South African perspective, unfortunately, this is correlated to US dollar CAD, and this will continue lower from the break of this. We should see this one come down again to around these levels. So US dollar ZAR still showing weakness. Pound yen. Pound yen, look for upside in the next week, supported by the indicator. We should see a move at least back up to this level. Okay, so pound yen looking upside, we're looking simply for this 3-wave structure here, or this is an impulse, and you could be getting up here with a diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is what we're looking at on pound yen. So then that diagonal makes an A, that makes a B, that makes a C. Look out for pound. It's definitely going up in the next week. It's supported. Looks upside on pound yen. For all we know here, we're going to focus as that goes. This could be the move that we have been looking for, and we're not going to get. If you look at this, we're looking for 11 swing sequence. Let's do it in the same degree color. W, X, Y, X, and the Z. Now, we may not get the Z. If we don't get the Z, what does that mean for the structure? That means we have started with a leading diagonal. If we get a leading diagonal, I'm not worried whether I miss the bigger move to the upside, because we know that the market does not move in a straight line, and 95% of the chance it gives you an entry point. If this is a diagonal, then that is an A, that is a 1. you should get a 2 here that pulls back after the diagonal, and this is where we're going to get our trade to the upside. So I don't worry about this move here, and in any case, this kind of move takes you through an emotional roller coaster because it goes up, retraces the gains, it goes up, retraces the gains, and you don't want that. But from this here, if this happens, this goes all the way. Okay, so that is pound yen. Have a bit for patience, but this has confirmed upside. US dollar yen. Now this is where the indicator comes in again. We have been looking at this one coming up here to go retest the top here. Now this corrective structure has been in play for the past week or two, right? So now this is the corrective structure. We could have looked at, breakout traders could have looked at this one to break out of the structure. I specifically told our traders in the room that this is not a breakout and this structure is still continuing when this happens. So this saves you from making those losing trades. Now, this is now very likely that US dollar yen will make a move to the upside here and at least go in 3 waves to go retest the level here. So very likely that US dollar yen makes a move to the upside. Yes, this can make a pullback here and continue to the upside. So that is what we're looking at on US dollar yen for it to break out higher. 1, 2, 3. We're actually going to be looking for that trade to the upside. I think it's about 200 pips that we're looking at, 150 pips that we're looking at on US dollar yen. Very good looking trade. Yen pes, let's go to the website on the yen pes. Now the yen pes, let's go to the yen pes. You're welcome, Tis. You are, I believe you are in our group, so you do get these updates timelessly when they are. Let's look at the yen pairs. Just on the side track, those that are in the Slack group, so you can put in a notification to see when the trades are posted. I'm losing my track here. I'm looking for the yen pairs. Right, so let's look at the yen pairs. Looking at the yen pairs, we've already looked at pound yen, US dollar yen, euro yen. Euro yen, this is already updated. So euro yen, we actually forecasted this one to make a move to the upside here up to this level. This was actually looking like a 3-wave structure, so I was expecting this one to make a corrective structure from here. But instead of 3 waves, we can see 5 clear waves on the yen pairs. 1, 2, 3. We are now around here at 119. We have moved from here. We are at 119. Here you're seeing the latest chart posted on Thursday. So this is the latest update. So before this, we had forecasted here to come to this level for a 3-wave move. Now we are here around this level. We should see a pullback, a deeper corrective structure. Now looking at, I'm going to look at, let's look at it first. So this is euro yen. We'll be looking for this one to pull back. Right, chief yen the same. The difference between chief yen and euro yen is that chief yen is a diagonal. It's still 5 waves, but it is a diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on chief yen. Should we now see a pullback? There's a reason why. I've shown a couple of weeks back why we're looking for chief yen to make a move to the upside. Now they have made impulsive 5-wave moves to the upside. What do we expect? We expect a pullback before continuation to the upside. That is a chief yen, right? So you see chief yen here. Also, the latest update already updated as of Thursday makes a move up around here. We're already at around 12. We'll be looking for a pullback. That is the case for all the remaining yen pairs. Really, they've all made 5-wave moves to the upside. As you can see here, US dollar CAD 1, 2. Is this a 3, a 4, and then a 5? No, not like that. This is actually not going to be correct. This is still a 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be the 5. That 5 can happen in 3 waves. We're still looking for continuation to the upside on this on CAD here. Break the top here and make a pullback. So that's what we're looking at. Not reversal, but rather a pullback because we still want it to continue higher. So CAD, expect a continuation to the upside, a pullback, and then upside. Okay. That's what we're looking at on the yen pairs. I see there's something on the chat box. Right, that that is Canadian yen. Nate is saying he loves the cryptos. Glad you're enjoying that. Right. Australian dollar still supported upside. We're still going to see upside, but how far? This is too expensive to be buying a pair here. We know that it's going to continue higher, but at any point here, we will see this X, blue X here, start to play out. So you can make your own decision whether you want to trade this. This actually it's going to make a move to the upside. It's going to push, but it will make a reversal before continuation to the upside. New Zealand supported upside as well. Not going to make this deep corrective structure. So what's going to happen here is that this is actually going to push a little bit higher. This C wave here is going to push a little bit higher before we make a move to the upside. That is the update that we've got on this. WXY to the upside. Okay, we're gonna see this one make a move to the upside, supported to the upside. We're still gonna see more upside. All right, that's what we have on the yen pairs, all looking upside. What does that mean for gold? Gold, I've shown you a trade setup. Remember, intermarket, gold and silver are inversely proportional to the yen pairs. So we are likely to see gold start making a move like this, corrective move here, before any move to the upside. The break on gold is not clean, so you may very likely see gold push back here. Very likely see gold push back here before any move to the upside. We'll be watching that. Okay, so silver is making new highs there, and silver is supported. So even if we do see a pullback on silver, if we see a pullback on silver, this pullback will still be supported. It's not as convincing. Gold is not as convincing as silver, but silver, we actually expect this pullback. This pullback is the one that's going to take us all the way up. At this stage here, gold is not supported. We don't see that much strength to the upside. Oil all the way to the upside, supported to go and reach the target that we're looking at, all the way to the upside for that last wave 5 before any deep pullback on oil. West Texas index, same. Now let's look at the pound pairs. Now the pound pairs, looking upside here on pound chief. Let's have a look at pound chief. So pound chief here, we're looking for this to make a move to the upside, a short move to the upside. Overall, this is a corrective structure. This is an X move here that we're looking at. And that move should eventually come down. So don't do anything on pound CAD. We're looking for that. We're still in this corrective structure. There's no confirmation of this corrective structure being complete. We should see it make a move to the upside. Pound Audi, very, very good trade for downside in the coming week. This one is one of the trades to look forward to in the next week. Let's look at pound Audi. Now, pound Audi looking for downside here. Looking for downside, use your own strategy to catch the move. It's not confirmed as yet. We may see this one bounce here before dropping here. May not go all the way down, because at some point here, we're going to have a deeper corrective structure. It's a similar structure that we had with USDCAD. We may see this one drop, make a move back before continuing to the downside. But pound Audi, remember pound Audi, what I said about pound Audi, any pullback that you find on pound Audi is an opportunity to sell, because we are in this bigger structure on pound Audi. This is the structure that you're in on pound Audi. You're looking for downside. I have tracked this for the past 2 years. Those that have been watching these videos for the past 2 to 3 years will know that we have started with this move. We've been trading up and down here for the past 2 years until we eventually got to where we are. Now, this can drop here. This is a daily, so there's quite a bit here. It's about 150 pips and make a strong bounce here. But that bounce will continue down. We'll break that trend line. Now, remember I just said why I have stopped trading trend lines, because you cannot explain why. If you have here your trend line, it gets broken, and then it makes a move to the upside, you have to adjust it. Then what good is a trend line if you can adjust it to suit you every time the market price moves? So it's not worth anything if it's like that. The nice thing about the wave theory is that if you're wrong about a trade, you can understand why you were wrong, and if you're right, you understand why you were right. Now, Audi looking for downside even if you do get a pullback. New Zealand also looking for downside, continuation to the downside. Let's look at this here. Back to the 4-hour. Okay, so back to the 4-hour on New Zealand, we're looking for these to drop. As you can see, same as the pound Audi, I'm expecting a deeper pullback at some point. This is not going to go down in a straight line, but there is indications of this dropping in the next coming trading sessions. Pound CAD, we already looked at this one during market, during trade recaps, so we're still looking for this one to continue lower. Wait for it to correct and drop here. Indicators have not confirmed the break. Pound ZAR. Now, pound ZAR, I want to look at EUROZAR rather. I'm not going to look at pound ZAR. Let's run through this here. So, a lot of the pound pairs are looking downside. Obviously, that will result in pound, euro pound making a move to the upside. So we should see this one make a slight push to the upside, but then eventually we should see this one coming down. So that would have completed this corrective structure. We should see this one come down here. No confirmation as yet whether this is going to come down. We're still looking for this corrective structure. That is a WXYXZ corrective structure. We're looking for this to complete the Z here. We're going to get the Z and then make a move to the downside. We'll be watching that one. Euro Audi. Okay, if you watch Euro Audi last week, we were here. So this was going to drop here and make a structure here. That is where we are right now. Now the question is, are we going to make a move to the upside? It does not look likely. As much as I'm focusing here upside, it does not look likely that we're going to go in a straight line. So this is a possibility. So the indicator will give you an alternative structure. Remember, when you've got two alternatives, the indicator will tell you which structure is the right one. In this case, we've got a move down here. I've got a move down here, up here in 3 waves. This can very likely make this corrective structure, whether it makes a running or an expanding flat, and come back down with the pink. That will not change the overall structure. That upside that I'm still expecting can still come here. Let's use white here. That upside here, which is this, can still come here, and I still get my corrective structure, and I still get my drop that I'm looking for. Okay, last week we focused that this was going to drop here. Now, if I just change the structure here without changing the external one and show you what we focused last week. Last week, this is what I was expecting. I was expecting that this purple degree will actually be the 3 waves. And if it's a 3 waves, I was going to expect the white to start here. This is why you see the forecast is showing us as upside from this level. Okay, so the forecast is showing us at this level. And now we're going to be looking for these to drop from current. We were looking for this to then drop from these levels here. So that is how we have looked at this structure. Now we have made a move to the upside. We can see all checks are confirmed. Now, just because we focused that it's going to come up here does not mean we're going to trade it like that. The indicator is showing us a different structure, and that's the structure that I showed you just now. EURCAD was our trade of the week 2 weeks back, and this was the reason why we were looking for this one to break out of this structure and make a move to the upside here. As you can see, this is still a corrective structure and does not really change the external structure. What we simply have is this. Last week, I showed you that it's going to drop from here, and this is the drop that we had here, and that is how this has played out here. Okay, so that is the structure that we have now. That's why we're looking for this one to continue higher and then drop from there. That is EURCAD. EUROCHIF was also a trade setup last week. We looked for it to make this move here. We are here now. Let's have a look here, the structure. Now, Euro Chief, we have been looking for this to make a move back to the 50% of this. The reason why we looked for that, if you look at some of the previous webinars, I've shown you this structure. Very simple structure on Euro Chief. This is the structure on the daily. You have got this corrective structure here. You've got these three waves down here. Simple, simple, simple textbook corrective structure. ABC structure, corrective structure. 1, 2, 3. So Euro Chief, as long as it's not making a 11 swing sequence, we should see it at least make a move back to the 50% of this move here in 3 waves. Currently, we have made 3 waves. This is 3 waves. This can be this, and it can be that. Right, so that is what we're looking at. Are we going to get a deeper corrective structure that corrects all the moves that we've currently seen to make a move to the upside? We'll be watching Euro Chief like that. Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand. Let's go back to the 4-hour. Euro New Zealand. If you watched this as well, we were looking for this one to drop. Last week we were here. I think I've shown this one during trade recaps. We were here last Sunday expecting a drop. Actually, I was looking for it to get to this level. We've now made a pullback here. Let's see. I'm expecting it. No, I don't expect it to go from current levels. I think we're still going to have one more down here. We're still going to have one more down before we get a pullback. Okay, so Euro New Zealand, the upside is not confirmed as yet. We should see it continue, make one more move to the downside. So this is a trade setup here. We look for it to confirm. We look for it to confirm. 1, 2, 3 down. It's not showing upside. EURZAR is actually pretty interesting currently, but we are seeing US dollar ZAR showing weakness. EURZAR is not confirming that we're going to continue lower. It is actually making a corrective structure. This is a diagonal here on EURZAR. This is a diagonal, so that's why we've got an ABC structure. We're going to see this one at least make a pullback in 3 waves, but this one may continue lower again. So that's what we're looking at on EURZAR. 1, 2, 3 waves, but we should see continuation to the downside. AUDCAD, looking at the crosses. AUDCAD, I've been looking for this one to drop from here to the 50%. But what this is doing, I've shown you these similarities between this structure and the Audi New Zealand structure. This is going for the wave 3 here to complete the green degree in 1, 2, 3, 4. We are currently looking for that wave 5 in green. May not go all the way up like that, so you can just get up to that level for the green. Then we still have 3 and then the 5 there in red. So let me just show you the 3 and 5 in red. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So that is still continuing to the upside. That move has still not happened. I was expecting it to do that here at 50%. Audi Chief, no, rather before Audi Chief, let's look at Audi New Zealand just so we can see the similarities. So the structure that you see on AUDCAD is this one. AUDCAD is now looking to complete this green degree here. After that green degree, we should see go 4 and 5, 4 and then a 5. Okay, so here on Audi New Zealand, we actually had a trade here for downside. I was trying to trade this leg here, but it came back up here like this. So that means we now have a 3-wave structure, and that can still be a corrective structure for one more down, and then we'll be looking for this one to do that so that we can have a W structure, a double combination, because this corrective structure is too small. It's too small to be a correction for this whole scene. New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD, we should see continuation to the upside. Upside like that. You can see the structure that you're looking at on New Zealand CAD is 1, 2, 3. It's 3 waves up, 3 waves back, and we're looking for continuation to the upside. New Zealand Chief, we already saw this one during market trade recaps. So we're looking for this one to be 1, 2, and looking for this one to complete there. It's not so convincing here, looking at the volumes that we've got here. So we're just gonna watch this one here. That is our New Zealand Chief. And lastly, CAD CHF, we're looking for it to drop here. To drop to give us this structure. So watch out for this corrective structure here and look for this to get to this level. That's all for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed the webinar and you will make it worth your while and trade responsibly. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great week. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye. So we actually missed the KSE. So the KSE is very simple analysis. You can see there hasn't been much movement from last week. Last week we were looking at this one to be a diagonal, but we changed our view when we saw this one going sideways like that. Now all we are looking for on the KSE, you are looking for this one to possibly make this pull back here, but the KSE should make this move to the upside. That's what you're looking for. Look out for a break above this. Is going to expose the new previous, it's going to go to the new previous highs here. It's going to break the previous highs on the KSE. That's as simple as that on the KSE. All right.